You're in traffic, someone cuts you off, your heart rate spikes, your jaw tightens before you can even think. Your hand slams the horn, your mind fills with rage, your day is ruined. Not because of what happened, but because of how you reacted. Now imagine something else. You get the same rude message, the same disrespect, the same moment that would normally set you off. But this time, you don't flinch. You don't explode. You choose your response. Calm, sharp, unshaken. That's not weakness. That's power. There's a truth no one teaches you. Most of your suffering isn't caused by events. It's caused by your reaction to them. And if you can master that, if you can master the space between what happens and what you do next, then no one can control you. Not your boss, not your ex, not your past, not even your own fear. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire in chaos, yet he ruled his mind with peace. Today, your empire is your attention, your time, your energy. And the war? It's every moment you're tempted to lose yourself in emotion. This is your invitation to take your power back. The Stoic way. We live in a world where everything is designed to provoke a reaction. Notifications, breaking news, online arguments, passive-aggressive texts, even silence can trigger something inside us. We're constantly being pulled by opinions, by algorithms, by our own unresolved emotions. And most of us, we don't respond. We react. We snap. We scroll. We spiral. Not because we're weak, but because we've never been taught something essential, that we are not our emotions, and we are not slaves to the chaos around us. The ancient Stoics, philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, faced wars, plagues, exile, and betrayal, but they believed this one truth above all. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. And in that response is your freedom, your power, your peace. In this video, we'll dive into what it really means to master your reactions through Stoic wisdom, modern psychology, and brutally honest self-reflection. Not to become cold, not to suppress your feelings, but to become unshakable, intentional, dangerously calm in a world that wants you unbalanced. This is more than philosophy. This is a tool for surviving and thriving in the modern world. So take a breath, let go of the noise, and let's begin. Before we talk about mastering your reactions, we need to understand what the Stoics actually believed. Because there's a myth that Stoicism means being emotionless, cold, detached. But that's wrong. The Stoics weren't trying to become robots. They were trying to become free. To them, the world was unpredictable. People lied. Friends died. Empires crumbled. But one thing always remained under your control. Your mind. Epictetus, born a slave, later a great teacher, said it best. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. That's the foundation of Stoic philosophy. It's called the dichotomy of control. You can't control what other people say or do, the weather, your past, most of your future, but you can control how you interpret events, how you respond to pain, what you choose to believe. This may sound simple, but it's not easy, because we've been trained by society, by trauma, by habit, to react instantly, emotionally, impulsively. We say things we don't mean. We spiral into thoughts that weren't even ours. We let a single moment ruin an entire day. That's not freedom. That's slavery to emotion. The Stoics were offering something radical, a path to reclaim the throne of your own mind. And in a world that profits from your reaction, this path is more important now than ever. Your reactions shape who you become. Every time something triggers you, you have a choice. You can react without thinking, or you can respond with clarity. That moment of choice, it may last only a second, but it builds your character brick by brick. You become what you practice, said Epictetus. So if you practice anger, you become bitterness. If you practice silence, you become wisdom. You are not just living your life, you're rehearsing your future. Your reactions can destroy or heal relationships. Think about this. How many friendships ended because of something said in anger? How many relationships broke because of a moment of pride, a sharp tone, a look? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, 'Today I will meet people who are irritating, arrogant, deceitful.'" He wasn't being pessimistic. He was preparing so he wouldn't take their behavior personally. When you master your reactions, you don't just protect your peace, you protect the people you care about. Reacting makes you a slave. Here's a painful truth. If someone else can control how you feel with a single comment, you're not free. If a stranger's opinion can make you question your worth, you've given away your power. The Stoics called this emotional slavery. He who angers you controls you, but he who masters his reaction controls his destiny. Most regret comes from unmastered reactions. You know that moment when you said something you didn't mean, like slammed a door, quit too fast, texted too late. That's not your truth. That's your untrained emotion speaking for you. Most pain isn't from the event, but from how we handled it. What if you had paused, breathed, responded like the person you aspire to be? That version of you is still in there, waiting. Calm is a superpower in the modern world. In a society addicted to outrage, stillness is rebellion, the one who stays grounded while the world spins out. They rise above it all. You become magnetic, mysterious, trusted, because calm people aren't passive, they're focused. Their emotions serve them, not the other way around. The Stoics weren't just preaching peace, they were training warriors of the mind, and the battlefield is within. The Stoics didn't just talk, they trained. They understood that mastering your reaction isn't about theory, it's about practice, daily, deliberate, internal. Here's your toolbox for building emotional resilience. The Stoic way. 1. The pause. This is your first line of defense. Before you speak, before you send, before you explode. Pause. Even just 3 seconds of silence can change everything. This is the space Viktor Frankl spoke of. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Start small. Pause before replying to that message. Pause when you're interrupted. Pause when you're offended. In that stillness, you reclaim your power. 2. Stoic journaling. Every night, Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, not for likes, not for an audience, but to understand his own mind. Start your own practice. What triggered me today? Did I respond or react? What will I do differently tomorrow? This is how awareness becomes mastery, not overnight, but over many honest conversations with yourself. 3. Digital detachment. Your phone is a weapon of mass distraction. It conditions you to react. Quick, shallow, addictive. Take back your attention. Turn off non-essential notifications. Don't check your phone the moment you wake up. Create sacred time. No screens, no scrolling, just presence. The Stoics believed attention was sacred. In today's world, it still is. 4. Premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. Every morning, imagine what could go wrong. Not to become anxious, but to become unshakable. Your plans may fail. Someone might disappoint you. Life might test you. Visualize it, accept it, prepare for it. So when it comes, you're not shocked. You're steady. This is not pessimism. It's armor. 5. Emotional transmutation. Anger, turn it into focused energy. Jealousy, into self-improvement. Fear, into preparation. The Stoics didn't suppress emotion. They transformed it, like a blacksmith takes raw fire and turns it into steel. Your emotions are fuel, but only if you learn how to wield them. These aren't hacks, they're habits. They're small, daily disciplines that build a life of clarity, calm, and power. The Stoics didn't wait for life to be easy. They trained to face it well. Now it's your turn. Let's step back for a moment. Imagine Rome, dust in the air, the sound of marching soldiers, fires in the streets, and at the heart of it all, a man sits alone writing by candlelight. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the most powerful empire on earth. But he wasn't writing orders, he was writing to himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. His world was filled with political betrayal, military disaster, and personal grief. But still, he ruled himself. Now picture today. A person scrolling through comments. Their hands tremble. Someone says something cruel. And without thinking that, they type something worse. That's our battlefield now. Not swords, not armies, but thoughts, reactions, emotion. We like to think we're free, but most of us are being controlled by the world's tiniest triggers. The Stoics knew, true power is invisible. It lives in how you carry yourself, how you stay calm in storms, how you choose peace over impulse. So the question is, in the middle of chaos, will you react like the masses, or respond like a philosopher king? Here's what no one tells you. You don't need to control everything around you. You just need to control one thing, your reaction. Because that reaction is where your real life begins. In that tiny moment, you are either repeating the old version of yourself or creating a new one. When you yell back, when you ghost, when you spiral, you are reacting. But when you pause, breathe, and respond from intention, you're becoming someone powerful, someone rare. Mastering your reaction isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's not about never feeling anger. It's about not becoming anger. The Stoics weren't flawless, but they were committed to growing, to reflecting, to rising above the noise. And you can do the same. Because in the end, your reaction is your responsibility, and your responsibility is your freedom. So the next time life tries to pull you into chaos, remember, you don't have to react. You can choose, and in that choice, you reclaim your power. Now ask yourself this. What's one moment today, just one, where you can choose to pause instead of react? It might be a sharp comment, a delay, a disappointment. You'll feel the spark rise, the urge to snap, to defend, to flee. But in that breath, you'll remember. You're not your reaction. You're the one watching it, choosing what comes next. If this video spoke to something deep in you, something tired of being emotionally pulled around, then this is your space. We explore timeless wisdom, psychological strength, and the tools to become who you were meant to be. So subscribe, not just to follow a channel, but to walk a path. And if you've made it this far, comment below. I choose calm. Let's see how many of us are walking this path together, because in a world that rewards noise, we're building a quiet kind of power, the kind that doesn't need to shout, the kind that simply is. See you in the next one. Stay grounded, stay wise, stay free.